Hello, you guys. I am Tia Wilson, and along with Jenna Overbaugh here at OCD, we are hosting a holiday workshop. The reason for this is because OCD really likes to grab onto things we care about, and for many of us, that's the holidays. There's also a whole lot of triggers that can come up during the holidays. Even just the mere fact that we are outside of our regular routine, we may be taking a pause from work, we may have more work, right? Depending on what it is you do. You may have, just some shifts, changes. You might be traveling. There's so many ways that we might be triggered because of the holidays, and it can be really important to learn how to practice self-care, and learn how to manage some of these symptoms as they come up for the holidays. One thing we're really passionate about here at OCD is giving access, and making things more accessible to people. And so we are making sure that this is a mini recording. It's not going to be as in depth as in our workshops, but we understand that some of you could not make it at that time. So we're going to be giving everyone a copy of this worksheet that you can walk through on your own time, and just kind of make sure that you're able to get some of the same value. So I'm just going to kind of walk through what this worksheet looks like. Our first page, we talk a little bit about the fact that the holidays with OCD can come with pain and struggle and values, right? It can be very difficult. We can have a whole lot that comes up for us, and we can still have a lot of value that comes up for us. And so an instance I have here is I value that I get to see people I love, and I know I'll have intrusive thoughts about them, right? Both of those things can be true. And so a lot of our work is to learn how to handle both, learn how to be able to be present for both. And I think a lot of the time our tendency is to get stuck on the pain points, right? Get stuck on the areas that are difficult, get stuck on the things that are painful. But it is really helpful when we're able to recognize that they don't come without the other. So in this first part of the workshop, there's this little or worksheet. There's this little section where you can write down some of the pains that you anticipate coming up during the holidays. One of the reasons we do this is because it can be really helpful to kind of plan ahead for what it is we expect OCD to throw our way. Kind of can help us not be caught off guard by it and be able to respond most effectively. So write down what are some of the pains you experience or anticipate experiencing with the holidays. It might be certain intrusive thoughts. There might be certain feelings that come up. There might be some difficult situations that you're going to be encountering, right? Write down some of the things that you're concerned about with the holidays. And then write down some of the values that you anticipate coming up during the holidays, right? This might be seeing people you love. This might be getting a little bit of a break from some of your other responsibilities. This might be getting to make memories, right? Getting to recognize some of the things that we value about the holidays as well. And the lesson here is that we don't get to choose just one side. We don't just get to choose just to stick with the values and not have the pain. They come together. And that's unfortunate but true, right? And so we get the chance to hold both. And there's a whole lot of value that happens when we're able to do that. So here there's this sentence, will you choose to practice accepting both sides? Right, yes, if you do. Kind of give yourself a little bit of accountability here, kind of really feel committed to this idea that you are going to do everything you can to accept both sides. This next page of this worksheet talks about some of these pains that we don't really get to change, some of the ones that are just there regardless of how we feel about them, and we just get to practice acceptance. Acceptance is not saying that we love this thing. It's not like feeling overjoyed about it. It's just acknowledging what is and stopping to try to fix or change these things that we simply cannot, right? An example of this are our intrusive thoughts, right? We don't get to change those. They just pop into our head. We only get to manage our response to that. So the second piece are the things that we can change. What are the things that we can impact? What are the differences we can make? These might be our compulsions or boundaries with family members, right? And so the secret to recovery learns in managing and learning which is which, right? OCD tells us that we can just control everything if we try hard enough, if we do all the compulsions just right, right? But in the end, there are things we get to accept and things we get to change. So write down some of these, right? So here's some examples, intrusive thoughts, emotions that come up, don't get to control those, don't get to control being around the triggers. That's just kind of part of the holidays potentially. I don't get to control the change in routine, right? But I can control my response to it. I can control my compulsions. I can control which physical boundaries I set with my loved ones, right? I can control The fact that I'm gonna push myself to spend less time alone. I'm gonna push myself to environments that I do value, even if it feels difficult. I'm going to take breaks to remember the value side of things, right? Kind of tap into the things that are really important to me. Maybe I'm gonna make my own traditions. I often share that that's something I've worked on in my own recovery is finding ways to change up my traditions every year so my OCD doesn't get too complacent and comfortable with it. I get the chance to be really creative and find ways to find new traditions that tap into my values, right? If I don't value going to a party, maybe I make a holiday tradition where I knit a scarf every December. I don't know. You can do whatever you want, but find a way to tie your values into this, right? Planning exposures is another thing that we can impact. This next page is recognizing some of these triggers that we're going to anticipate, some of these pains, right? We already did that a little earlier, but kind of just noticing these triggers that we anticipate and then getting the chance to practice acknowledging what things we get to accept. Oh, sorry, what things we get to accept and what things we can change, right? Go ahead and write down some of those and get the chance to try to be creative here when it comes to what we're going to be impacting and also lean into this fact that we can't change everything, right? We can't change the holidays, they're here, right? We only get to focus on the things that we can. This last page are some things to remember. I think out of anything that we want you to remember is that you're not alone, right? That's why we hold these workshops. We want you to know that you aren't alone, that there are many people who are incredible who also struggle with OCD, and it's okay if the holidays don't feel the way you wish they did, right? Um, but there can also be a lot of value that comes with that, right? So here are some reminders. You can find ways to maybe plug this into your phone to beep at you at random times, right? Maybe you write this on a sticky note, stick it on the wall. Find ways to incorporate these reminders into your day in ways that are not compulsive. Maybe there's even an object or something that reminds you of this that you can kind of stick around your house, a certain decoration, for instance, right? Um, these are some of the reminders. This is my holiday, not OCD's. There is no right or wrong way to feel about the holidays. Whatever comes up is valid. I didn't ask for OCD on my wish list, so I will be compassionate and accepting as I challenge it. Ritualizing won't make me feel better about how this holiday went. I would encourage someone else with OCD in my situation to, the values go hand in hand with the pains. You don't get one without the other. I can control blank, not blank, right? Recognizing this tool we did earlier, finding ways to hold both. I have handled difficult days before. You have. You've handled difficult days before, and the holidays might be another one of those days. And while that can feel super frustrating, just know, again, you are not alone. We have your back, and things can get better, right? We can find ways to improve this. So, hopefully, we'll see you at our next workshop. But I hope this worksheet is helpful for everyone. Feel free to print it out. Really get the chance to sit with these thoughts and get to explore these activities. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, or really just any holiday. I hope you have a holiday. I hope you have a holiday, but I hope you find moments that are wonderful in it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.